Hey everybody, Zach Ullman, Valley Investment Club. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, today I want to talk to you about a plan we've been implementing since 2011. Um, Real quick, who we are, what we do, and why you should listen. We are a local group of real estate investors that created our own community. So if you've ever wanted to invest in real estate, or you are currently invested in real estate, and you want to take your game to the next level, check us out. We're the only group that I know of that meet on a weekly basis. We meet every Wednesday and every Saturday, either to mastermind or go over one of our deals. So, what I want to go over today is a little bit about who we are, what we do, and how you can join. Real quick, we're local investors doing local deals. This is a picture that one of our property tours we go to every Saturday, different property every week. Some of the things I want to hit on in this briefing, it's going to be about 15 minutes, and I'm going to give you an overview of who we are, what we do. And if you like it and you want to learn more, come down to our office. We have a huge office. Over 200 people meet on a weekly basis, and we have people all the way that on the one end that has been doing this for 35 plus years, all the way on the other end that have never invested in real estate, and everyone in between. So we have a community of local investors. We have hands-on experience, experts in their field, local office to work on, an education, and an environment of empowerment and success. Real quick, my background: I grew up in a small town in Northwest Indiana. I graduated at the top of my class from Indiana University because when I was younger, I said I want to be rich. I want to become an investor, but I didn't know how to do that. So I went to college. I ended up working for one of the best companies in the world as a financial analyst slash valuation analyst, became published author, and I was scared to death because I saw my future of working 60 to 100 hours a week for, it was six figures and had every benefit you could think of, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. I felt like I wasn't in control of my life. So I jumped and I quit my job and I started doing this. And I want you to know you can too. Now, I'm not going to promise any results. I'm not guaranteeing any results, but this is what I'm going to say because it's my personal belief. You are not going to find a better place to either learn how to invest in real estate or take your real estate investing to the next level outside of this group. And I know that because I looked everywhere. All the other places I was going, they maybe met on a quarterly basis, a monthly basis. They weren't interested in my success. We have a financial interest in everyone's success out of my office. I get into more of that on Wednesday night. But, I've quit my job since I'm a full time real estate investor. I'm crushing my goals. These are a lot of the deals, different types of deals I've done, been able to travel the world and live life on my terms. That's the biggest thing. I still work very hard. Don't get me wrong. I work very hard, but I do it the way I want to do. So the purpose of this presentation is to show you what's possible and inform you on what we do and how you can join us. So if you've ever wanted to invest in real estate, keep watching. And if you're wanting to take your game to the next level, keep watching because we have some heavy hitters on our team. So this is what our weekly schedule looks like. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m., like clockwork, we have an orientation. That would be you. So people that want to come down and check us out, we go over a much more detailed example. I consider this a briefing. It's a short 15-minute video, who we are, what we do, and how you can learn more. But that orientation goes way more in depth. And then for the team members, we have masterminds. So this is where people are actually coming. We have our own ecosystem. We have people with money, we have people with properties, we have people with resources, we have people with time, skill, knowledge, you name it. Everything we need is in this office. And what we're doing on those Wednesday nights is we're putting deals together. So masterminds, we have an essentials mastermind for all the new people. And then once you advance from that, you can move into fix and flip. Our fix and flip, all these masterminds are led by full time real estate investors and entrepreneurs that do this on a daily basis. They're giving back because the idea is if we give back, everyone can do more real estate, including the people leading the masterminds. So our fix and flip mastermind just recently wrapped up on about 6 months, and they raised over $6 million and did over 22 deals. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but you got to realize those are a lot of new people. There's about 16 of them. The class before that was they raised over 4 million and did over 30 deals, okay, in that same time period. So these people are actually coming down here making money. Our multifamily is led by a very dear friend of mine. He is crushing it right now, flipping multifamily. So we have people that are buying, holding. those properties, but we also have people that are flipping them, and he is just working his way up to bigger and bigger and bigger units. And what he's doing is really cool. Is he's leasing the units to other team members so they can use them for short-term rentals. And now we have other people actually doing the same thing. Notes. Our Notes Mastermind is led by a national speaker on distressed notes. He's a very good friend of mine, amazing guy. The Notes Mastermind since inception has bought $1.7 million worth of property for about $700,000. And it's really cool. I'm going to get into some of those deals. We have a wealth management group mastermind that is led by another dear friend of mine, John and Pam, and they're crushing it. So the idea is, what do you do when you make all this money? How do you create generational wealth? We answer those questions in this so you can actually set yourself up for retirement rather than just cashing big checks, and set your kids up and set your grandkids up so that it can go on for generations. We're getting ready to start a short-term rentals mastermind. So that's like Airbnb, VRBO, things like that. And this is really popular. Right now, what we're doing is we're leasing these properties. I own, but I'm moving into leasing them because you can get in with first month's rent, security deposit, and furniture. So I know people that are doing it for like $5,000. Good, that's their risk. And you can put that on a credit card if you don't have the money to get started, or you could look for somebody in our community to raise that money. We have introductions, so that's for people that want to come and check us out. We have a team overview, velocity banking, how to pay off all your debt, at an accelerated rate. We go over that in much more detail on Wednesday. iOS, it's called Investor Operating System. That's what it stands for. We go over a full training on that on Wednesday too. And then every Saturday we have an event. Now, every Saturday we have a property tour from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. where we actually go out to the property. You get to see how we found it, how we funded it, and what our exit strategy is. And then once a month, we have all day intensive. So it's from 9 to 4:30 p.m. We actually go through a very extensive training. This last month, we went over how to start $1 million wholesaling business from nothing. The month before that was all about tax, legal, and how to protect yourself, how to maximize your the money that you're making, how to mitigate taxes, and a bunch of other really cool things that helps you generate wealth. So who's in our group? We have people that have done over 1,000 deals a year, like I said earlier, all the way down to people that have never invested in real estate before. These, if you name the type of real estate strategy, I guarantee we got somebody in our group that is either doing it or has done it, because the strategies change as the market changes. I've done quite a bit myself, but I say we do land all the way up to skyscrapers and everything in between. We have full-time real estate investors, doctors, accountants, lawyers, students, moms, dads, servers, teachers, nurses, social workers, and pilots. My brother's actually a Marine fighter pilot. He is in our group. He's getting ready to do his first short-term rental, so it's really cool. Why you should watch this video. I want you to watch this video because if you've ever wanted to invest in real estate, I can assure you there's no better place to go than our group. I know that, like I said earlier, because I've looked around. I wanted to invest in real estate so bad, but I couldn't find a group that was consistent. I couldn't find a group that was willing to give back. And I just, it never worked. They were always doing something else or weren't, or, flaky. So, and I had these 4 questions. I want to invest in real estate, but I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't know how, and I don't have the resources or network. I had all of those when I first came in, and now I've learned that if I have the knowledge, I can get all the other resources, and that's what our group will provide you. And there's people coming in here in our group with 7-figure 401ks. There's people coming in our group that do 100 commercial deals a year. There's people that come in our group that are top brokers and top people in their field because they understand to do more, you have to work with other people. So how to change course? Most people, I tried all of these. Going to buy books. The challenge with books is every scenario is different. YouTube and Google. YouTube, anybody can put a YouTube video out there. Anybody can create a website. And the challenge is it can be correct, but you may not understand why it's correct and when to appropriate to use it. To give you an example, lease options are illegal in some places. There's so many nuances inside of real estate. You got to make sure you understand the context of what you're doing. Guru events. I would label these as the events. You go down to a hotel and they either have a free lunch or an iPad or something like that, and they upsell you to a $300 to $2,000 boot camp, and then from there they upgrade you, or try to upsell you to a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 program. And then if you need some one-on-one help, it's another $25,000, and you got a year to learn it or you'll lose it. And I've seen so many people in that predicament. And the biggest challenge is the information's good. I'm not saying the information is good, but they have no local help, right? This can be scary. This can be intimidating, and that's why we have our local masterminds. And then there's the people that just go for it. I met a young lady before she joined our group. She just went for it, and she lost $160,000 of her family's money doing that because she didn't have one piece of paper signed. Now, it was for two deals, and that same piece of paper wasn't signed for both deals. But had she had that, she would have had a recourse to save that money she invested. So we want you to learn here and try to mitigate your risk. So like we said earlier, there's a better way. I want to be respectful of your time, so I want to go over that again. But I'm going to go through each one of these. So this is our community. We have over 250 people in our local community. This is our holiday party at our house, and we had over 120 people there. And you can see these are people we hang out with on a daily basis. These are our friends. These are our family. These are our I don't want to say coworkers because we're business owners, but these are the people we're down in the trenches with. And the idea is, it's a lot easier to do a deal with somebody if you know, like, and trust them. So we have events like this all the time. Here's some of our masterminds. Masterminds, this is our notes mastermind showing off all the deals that they bought. So we like to highlight all the deals so we can learn from them and learn from each other. Property tours. I love property tours, one of my favorite things that we do because we actually get to go out to a different property every week. And we like to go before they rehab, during rehab, and after so you can get a context of what they're doing. And we do houses all the way down from the small end, an $8,000 trailer with $15,000 in repair that sold for about 50, 55,000, all the way to the high end, Arcadia homes, Scottsdale homes, where they're going to make six figures on them and everything in between. So it's really cool. And what it gives you is it gives you a point of reference. So when you're running your numbers, you get to go, oh yeah, I remember that house in Scottsdale they did. Very similar layout, very similar construction. And I can assure you, you're going to be super surprised on what we can get things done for. We just redid an entire 2,000 square foot house for $22,000. We did everything, almost everything except for the kitchen cabinets and the bathroom cabinets. And the house sold within a day of offering. We're getting ready to close it right now, actually. Experts in their field. We have local leaders that do over 1,000 deals a year. We got a lot of heavy hitters, like I said. Again, come check us out for that. This is one of the biggest things I'm most proud of is this was our office in October of 2015. Another thing I'm proud of is about 80% of the people in these photos are still here with us. So we're here for the long haul. Like I said, we're family, we're friends, we're doing this together. This is our new office. We have over 200 people on a weekly basis that come in and out of our office, and we're crushing it. Education. There's 64 full days, 64 plus full days of education. We go into this more on Wednesday night, but here's a snapshot of what that looks like. These are all 6 to 8 hours apiece. Like I said, 400 hours of training. So now let's go into results. I love results. People can talk about how cool their groups are, but I'm all about, show me the money. Let's see what you guys are doing. So I'm going to go through, I could do this all day. We have so much success in our office, and I'm just going to go over a couple different strategies that we're doing. So you can lend money. If you have money, you can lend money. Here's an example of a guy on our team that was lending money out of his 401k. So he had $45,000, got 12% in 4 months. Annualized, that's 36%. Another deal, he lent 10 grand, got $11,000 back in 30 days. Annualized, that's 120%. Now, here's another deal where the person chose to borrow the money to do this deal. So the purchase price was 587, rehab 200,000, total gap price 157. Now, what gap price or gap funds are is we can get 80% of the money to buy and rehab a property fairly easy. Now that's in my opinion fairly easy because I'm I'm in the field. I understand what I'm doing. But there's lenders out there that don't care about your credit. They don't care how much money you make. They're lending on the deal. So in this instance, they got a hard money lender for, I don't remember the percentages, but they needed the gap. They needed the difference between what hard money was lending and what the purchase and rehab was. So that was $157,000 out of a 401k. 6 months later, they sold it for 1.15 million and made 203,000. Now, the first question the person that partnered with this person was saying was, when are we going to do our next deal? So here's one of my rental properties. I don't really want to get into the details, but this thing was listed at 80 grand. They knocked it down to 65-ish thousand dollars. I came in with a lowball offer of 58, and they bid and they said, "Hey, we'll take like 62." It was a conversation starter. I didn't even see the property before I made the offer, other than pictures. I went there and it was already done. It was like a Fannie Freddie house that was already done. They and I negotiated it down to 50,500. And I put $7,000 into it. A couple weeks later, it appraised for 80 grand. And I put the 7 grand into it because I wanted the appraisal to get really close to 80 because I knew that's what it was worth. But I needed to justify that price. And so I did the rehab costs and I line itemed it and gave that to the appraiser to justify why I thought it should be there. Still have this property today. Now, this is a fix and flip. We bought this property subject to, which essentially means it's seller financing. The mortgage stays in their name. All right, I got my person texting me. That's my assistant. So uh, disregard that. But so the mortgage stays in their name, the deed goes in my name, and then we fix it up and we sold it. And why I love doing that is because if the market changes, I have long-term low interest money in place so I can buy and hold it. I can turn it into a short-term rental. I can sell it contract for deed. I can do a lease option. I can put a renter in there. Now it's a lot different story if you have high interest short-term money. Like you can get really in a pinch in that. So that's we did that on this property. We made about 44,000. Here's a distressed note. They bought this for $3,968. The UPB, unpaid principal balance, $6,302. It's worth about $33,000. They're going to wholesale it or rent it. Now they're buying these. These are non-performing notes, which essentially mean they're homeowners who aren't paying their mortgage. We come in and we get them. We can either do a loan mod or we can. There's about 11, 12 other strategies on the back end that we can do with these houses. This is actually the guy that heads up the Distressed Notes Mastermind, and he heads up the entire mastermind groups in general. Great friend of mine, national speaker, and just a wealth of knowledge. He helps me on a lot of my deals, but here's an amazing deal he did. He bought it for 8,160. The UPB 55,000 unpaid principal balance. What that means is the homeowner owed the bank 55,000. And this guy came in there and he bought that right for 8,160. And then he called them and said, "Hey, how can I help you?" Right? He had all that room. The difference between those two numbers, how much negotiating room he had. He could have done a loan modification. He could have done many things. But what he did is he got it back up and performing. That's where the value comes in. And he sold it for $18,000 3 months later and made it almost $11,000, which is 135% in 3 months. To annualize that, you're well over 500%. So it's a win-win for everybody. The homeowner stayed in the home. My friend made an amazing return, and then he sold it to somebody on a performing note basis, somebody else in our group that's making 28% in his children's retirement account. Here's another distress note. Purchased it for 11,220. Unpaid principal balance is 21,578. That's what they owe. It's worth about 50,000. They're going to get that property up and performing again and make about 44% annualized return. Here's another great property, short-term rentals, creative financing. I bought this property at retail. People are saying, why would you pay retail? You're an investor. Well, I did that because of the financing. I got this property subject to, which means the mortgage is in their name, stays in their name. It's a 30-year mortgage at a residential rate. And my mortgage property, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is $1,250. And I can, on average, make about $3,200 a month. Now, the summer months are slower and the winter months are higher, but on average, we're going to make about 35 to 40 grand on this property cash flow. And again, we'll get more into the details later. But again, I just want to show you what's possible. Here's a multifamily flip. This is a friend of mine that actually leads a multifamily. He bought this for $1 million, put $100,000 into it. 8.5 months later, sold it for 1.7, made about $600,000, and he's crushing it. Here's another one he did. Here's some rough numbers. He's making about 160. He actually just closed this. I think he netted about 150 on it. So I got to update my slide because he just closed on it 2 days ago. But in this one, he's leasing it, subleasing it to people in our group so they can do vacation rentals in it, short-term rentals. I'd rather say like Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, and this place is amazing and it's a win-win for everybody. Subject to purchase, this property was bought by somebody in our group. When they bought it, it had about $80,000 worth of equity. I just talked to them the other day. They said they're up to about $125,000 worth of equity. They make about $425 a month in cash flow, and all they needed was about $10,000 down, which they borrowed from somebody else in our group. Again, we can get more into that later. Wholesale. So we did this. This is me and my fiance and another partner did this. We got this property under contract for $95,000, assigned that contract for $125,000. We really helped this family out, and that's why the assignment fee was so large. Is we helped them get some food, we helped them get their water turned on, gave them a cell phone, got them moved, put their stuff in storage, and helped them find a new place with the money that they made. We were able to make $26,000 off of that for just helping somebody out, doing some paperwork, and moving them on. I could continue to go deal after deal after deal. We have so much success and so many other strategies I don't have time for today. The key here is I want you to come check us out if this at all interests you. Like I said, if you want to learn how to invest in real estate or you're actively doing it, you're not going to find a place that's better than our office to learn and actually take your game to the next level. I want to show you this real quick because this was really what scared me into jumping. Right, I wanted to invest in real estate, and we meet hundreds of people on a weekly basis that want to invest in real estate. And a lot of them have been saying they wanted to do it for 5, 10, 15 years, but they never did it. When I saw this, I'm like, I have to do something. So if you look on the left here, it shows number of years in retirement. On the top in the blue, the amount needed per month to retire. So if you want to make $10,000 a month for 20 years, you need $3.46 million. And I saw that number when I was working in the corporate world before I joined the group. And I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to make that type of money. And I was scared. And what I did was I saw that this group, this community already had a system. They had systems and processes, and all I had to do was plug in. So if you have a plan for retirement and it's working, I congratulate you. You're one of the few. But if you don't, I urge you to come down, check out our plan. You can just plug in, and in a short, I call it about 18 months, I was able to create $10,000 a month in residual income through rental properties. And I did it with none of my own money. I was buying these rentals with none of my own money. And there's so many ways to do this, and I've learned so much since then. But I replaced that $10,000 a month. Now, I didn't have the $3.46 million worth of cash laying around to generate it, but I created it in cash flow. So if you want to learn what our plan is and how you can leverage what we've created, come check us out. This is the next step. Meet our local community. There's going to be a link somewhere around this video above, below, on the side of it. Click that and register. Come check us out. Like I said, you're not going to find another group like this. Get registered, and then once you come and check us out, let's sit down, you and I, and see if we're a right fit for you and see if you're a right fit for us. So really excited for you to come see our group, all the amazing people, and what we've accomplished over the years. And again, Zach Ullman, Valley Investment Club, valleyinvestmentclub.com. Go check it out. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.